Okay, this is the Professor, CBMD PhD, and today's Sunday, November 19th, 2023. It is 4:14 and 27 seconds, a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today I'm doing my monthly video diary I had written on my driver's license history, so let's jump to it here. And before we get started, don't forget to check out my website, ProfessorWill.ca, so let's jump to it here. Going on my third apartment at the beginning of 1997, I decided to take my written driver's test, and at the time was seeing someone that was a year younger than me. And she also wanted her driver's license, and so we spent time reading the driver's manual with each other and studying for about a month. After about a month of studying, I decided to go to the Ministry of Transportation in North Bay and write the written test. When I arrived, I went into the testing room with one younger fellow and one younger lady. I took my time writing the test, as the other two had left the testing room quickly. When I got out, a lady graded my test and told me I passed with 100% accuracy. The young guy told me he just barely passed, and the young lady failed, and she had to pay $100 to rewrite the test. And then, about a year later, I decided to take the A1's driver in school course because I had zero driving experience, and my parents didn't trust me to practice with their vehicles. Because I was a constant dreamer and dozed off a lot, and was on heavy sedative psychiatric drugs, which impaired my judgment, my parents didn't trust me to drive. I was really motivated to get my driver's license, so I paid like $400 to go to the A1 driver's school for a week's training. I found the lady instructor at the school was very abusive. She did nothing but insult my intelligence in front of the class and call me a slow learner. I passed the in-school testing with high marks and did well above average on the A1 driver's course. So far I spent a bit over $500. A female instructor set me up with road training, which at the time cost around $20 an hour, which broke my bank. My driver instructor was older and very abusive. He was chewing gum during my 1 hour training sessions, and I had to constantly tell him to spit it out because of my misophonia. He called me a slow learner and again insulted my intelligence, asking me personal questions about my meds. It was very abusive, so I felt uncomfortable and angry during our training sessions. At $20 a session, the abrasive elderly instructor told me I would need a ton more training sessions, which I couldn't afford. I was writing him checks a couple times a week. After a few months went by, I asked the driver instructor if I could go for the road test to obtain my G's, which is called a permanent driver's license, in Ontario. My instructor was very resistant and told me I needed more practice. I bugged him about it because it was costing me way too much. Then he said you can try, but it would cost me another $400 to rent a certified car at the Ministry of Transportation to take the final road test. He scheduled a time and date in the summertime of 1999. Then he changed the scheduling without my notice, knocked on my door early in the morning when I was in bed in the middle of having it with my girlfriend. I told my girlfriend I had to leave and was a mess. I smelled and didn't have time to shower. I was so embarrassed, hopped in my clothes quickly, and ran out the door. My driver instructor was really rude that morning, insulting my intelligence and calling me names during our drive to the Ministry of Transportation. When I got to the Ministry of Transportation, he had me sign another check for around $400, including tax. As I got into the driver's seat and prepared for my road test, I was a bit nervous and uncomfortable because I could not afford to fail. Overall, I did well on the road testing, passed parallel parking with 100% accuracy, but when I got into the MTO, the instructor told me I made two risky mistakes. One being slowing down a bit and yielding when turning right on a green light, and second, accidentally hitting the gas instead of the brake when backing up in the parking lot and backed a bit over the yellow line. At this point, I failed my road test and was told I needed more practice, which I really could not afford. Not bad for someone who has never been behind a wheel. After failing my road test, I reported the training instructor for abuse and misconduct and got another road instructor about a year later. It was now costing like $30 a lesson. My new instructor was younger, way smarter, and way nicer, but he said he wanted 100 more road lessons that I could never afford. And then on top of things, rent another car for the final, which would cost another $500 or more. I ended up quitting due to the fact I had no money. Remember, this was way back when I was young, so it likely costs way more today. Overall, I'm glad I don't have my driver's license today. I don't want to put myself in potential risk of people's carelessness method or people's impaired driving. I am now free of absolute nonsense. And as of insulting my intelligence by calling me a slow learner, I said to my new driver instructor, those who practice slowly learn quickly. In other words, I'm a quick learner, so let's replace that slow learner label with diligent, while everyone else in the classroom sped through with below average marks or average marks. I was above average. I was scoring 100% accuracy on my written testing and exams, while everyone else in the classroom went out on smoke breaks and sped through the material. I scored above average and beyond, never smoked or done mood-altering substances in my lifetime, but have been impaired by forceful pharmaceuticals, which made me just want to stay home, sleep and lie in bed with my girlfriend. My monthly video diary was written and produced by me, the professor, scientist, philanthropist, writer, mathematician, and leader of research. And this video diary was written and created for educational purposes only. Hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, have an awesome day.